quick morning briefing. NIO is down -7% in the pre-market, but it's not an isolated case. If you look in here, Tesla's also down -3%, Xpeng -10%, Kingsoft Cloud -6%. So it's all over the place, different industries, different markets. So what is the news? Well, the news is this. Fitch cuts the US credit rating to just an AA+. So credibility issues here for the US Treasury, based on the fact that they have to service a lot of debt, and it's not looking super healthy, at least in the views of those rating agencies, and that sort of became a shock to the market today. And so it's not a case that is just about the US markets. It's heavily affecting also the Chinese market. For example, here we can see the Hong Kong Stock Exchange made a very huge drawdown today. What is interesting, it may actually find some support in these levels with the daily SMA 200 and the 50, which could come close by. So maybe it's not looking that bad actually for this hopefully ongoing Chinese rally. But you know, this is also where people were kind of waiting for some sort of a rug pull, right? Usually we couldn't see a sustained China rally. Whenever this happened, whenever Chinese equities get a bit, then usually some bad news comes out, like a white balloon or something like this. This didn't happen this time, and actually we had even some positive surprises, like for example on Monday, another press conference by the Chinese government or ministries and officials about how to stimulate the economy and stuff like that. So, if these events become more repetitive and more ongoing, then China may have learned the lesson of how to actually please the markets instead of waiting for bad news to happen again. This time it happened in the US, as I mentioned, and this is not an isolated one for China here. Although it's interesting, if we're watching, for example, here the interest rates, it seems like, they are high, like the 10-year Treasury at 4%, but these are, the peak levels that we've seen so far. And with inflation coming down, it's really unlikely, in my point of view, that it can actually spike through those levels. And so isn't that rather a turning point when it comes to interest rates? Once again here, this is rather showing us that these are peak levels for interest rates. And this is sort of connected to this issue that, on 30 trillion of debt, they have to pay lots of interest payments just to service the debt. And the higher those interest payments are, the more difficult it gets. And wouldn't that actually fuel or give more argument to the reasoning that the Fed will not raise interest rates any longer and much longer, and those interest rates have to come down? And with that, we should actually get a bid on equities. Also, if you look at the US dollar basket, it's close to those peak levels, and so this has in the past also been one of the headwinds for especially foreign equities, like overseas in the like Asian, China equities, emerging market equities, and so on. These are rather the top levels, right? So I'm not sure whether or not this move today will actually be, just sort of a brief shock, whereas the fundamentals are actually pointing into a different direction. And so who knows, maybe KWeb and the China internet names have a little bit of a setback here. I mean, we've been rallying quite a bit. NIO has been rallying a bit. This might meet some support levels here, hopefully, and hopefully can sustain the levels then, and maybe see another bounce up from here based on some of the more fundamentals issues, such as interest rates, hopefully starting to come down from here, and also the US dollars, showing maybe some weakness starting from here. That's it. Quick morning briefing. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and see you in my next video.